Hi, it's Tash. Welcome to Tash's Library. Today's video is going to be a few more rapid reviews of some 2024 new releases that I read this year. We're going to start off with one that I didn't like very much, and then one that was okay, and then another one that I really liked. There will be no spoilers, and I will put timestamps below so you can just move to the book that you are most interested in. First book I'm going to review today is City of Stardust by Georgia Summers. Now, I did give this 2 stars. I did not love this book, but I'll explain it because I'm very much aware of the fact that some books just don't work for me, and there are books that will definitely work for somebody else. City of Stardust follows the Everly family who is cursed, and it appears that young Violet, who is the youngest member at this stage, is next on the list for this unknown fate at the hands of the evil Penelope. Her mother's disappeared, so Violet must now find allies and learn about a hidden magical underworld in order to find a chance of survival. Now, I love this premise of this magical world. So you basically have our world, and then underneath this you have this magical world which kind of has a magical school in it, and you kind of hear about it, which is awesome. Now, what I did not like about this book is that you never really get to explore this world very much. You hear about it, don't see a lot of it, which I found quite disappointing. Now, the supporting characters are great. I really enjoyed them. There's some characters you don't hear very much about, but they are intriguing, and I kind of wish that we had got to know them a little bit better. Now, the beginning of the book is super captivating. You basically hear about these children going missing across Europe with only the scent of vanilla as a clue, which is pretty cool. And I thought, I'm gonna love this book, but then it kind of didn't work for me from then on. The development of characters for me was not fabulous. As I said, there's very little exploration of this parallel world, and I find that for a good portion of the novel, Violet is just aimlessly journeying around, kind of almost treading water. And I don't feel that anything's actually happening at that time, despite the fairly high stakes, but the tension's not really effectively built or held. There is a bit of a romance in it. Now, it doesn't go into the romance in a lot of detail at all. It's just like the slow burn thing that's happening in the background. And to be honest, this lacked chemistry for me. I didn't feel that they were at all suited. I didn't even feel that they really liked each other. But anyway, so that didn't work for me. Now, the prose is also very lyrical, and I quite like lyrical prose. But for me, in this one, it's kind of smacked of literary fiction to the point where I did not enjoy it. I felt that it kept me at arm's length from the story, from the characters. It's not a prose style that works for me. Now, if you love literary fiction, you will probably love this because it is beautifully written. I didn't enjoy it though. So I would suggest that anyone who kind of likes magical realism, literary fiction, might actually get quite a lot out of this novel, because there is quite a lot of exploration of, people's thoughts and just the ideas. I just like more action in my stories. I like fantasy for the escapism, for the quests, for the action, and I felt that this book was lacking that for me. The second book I want to discuss today is A Letter to the Luminous Deep by Sylvie Catherall. This is going to be the first book of a trilogy, I believe, but I'm not certain, and that is called The Sunken Archive. I gave this 3 stars. I quite enjoyed it, and I probably will continue with the series. It follows the reclusive and quirky E, who only calls herself E because she doesn't like her name, and she starts corresponding with the scholar Henry. Initially, her letter is to describe the sea creature that she saw, and she would like his help in identifying it because she lives in this cool undersea house, which is pretty awesome. So they start discussing their interests, and this friendship builds over time. Now, when a mysterious object emerges and Ian and Henry disappear, however, their respective sister and brother examine the letters for clues. So what I liked about this is I quite enjoyed the epistolary structure to some extent. So it is entirely told through letters. So if you don't like that, stay away. But I thought it was pretty cool. The plot is gradually revealed. The characters are incredibly endearing. The ocean world is awesome. So the majority of the world is really just ocean. And most people will live on floating cities of some kind. And there's only just a few atolls here and there. The underwater house is just remarkable. So that was really cool setting, really cool characters. For me, what brought it down a little bit is I was a little bored at times. I don't feel that the epistolary structure works for me so much. I think it was masterfully done, but I don't enjoy it personally as much as I would enjoy an ordinary narrative style. Because of the letters as well and the nature of the scholars sort of writing to each other, I found the prose a little bit dry at times. It does read very Victorian in its writing. So yeah, keep that in mind. And then it ends with a cliffhanger. The major cliffhanger with no real momentary resolution. So you're building up to this story all throughout, and then at the end you find something out, and you really, I just felt like it was an unsatisfying ending. And so I don't know, I feel like maybe this book would have worked better if I could have leapt straight into the second book. But look, I think if you like epistolary structure and you like really cute slow burn romances, I would highly recommend that one. The final book I'm going to discuss today is Foul Days by Genevieve Dimova. This is the first book in A Witch's Compendium, and I gave this 5 stars. I loved this book. The structure of it is you had these 2 cities, Chernograd and Belograd, who were once a single city, but then they were divided by this impenetrable wall, which was built to prevent the monsters of Chernograd from reaching the wealthier citizens of Belograd. Now, Kasara, our main character, is a resident of Chernograd, and she's a resident on monsters such as Ruselkas and Kikimoras and lycanthropes, and she's pretty good at managing in this highly perilous world. But she's terrified of Zmei, the Tsar of Monsters, who seems intent on pursuing her. In order to escape him, one New Year's Eve, she makes an impulsive deal that threatens her life. In order to save herself and the city she loves, she then has to join forces with a Belogradian, a policeman, Assen. I adored this. I loved the fact that it was a very different urban fantasy with Slavic folklore, this fascinating world inhabited by monsters. It's kind of like the Witcher meets the Dresden Files, that kind of thing, but all with this real kick-ass female character. Now, she does make quite stupid, impulsive decisions at times, but I feel that it's quite consistent with her character, so it was believable and not annoying for me. Very good character development, good character growth, unputdownable plot. It was just so intriguing, cool twists. I read this in about a day. I just really enjoyed this book, and there was really nothing I disliked about it, and I cannot wait for the next book. So I would recommend this to any lovers of folklore in an urban setting, anyone who likes reading about monster hunting, and it's, as I said, it's pretty much Witcher in an urban setting without all the politics. So yes, I adored this book. And that's that. They're my 3 books that I decided to review today. I hope you find these helpful, and until I see you next time, take care.